He's in this pile of wood here.
Yep. Now you got to figure out how to get the skunk out of the wood. And not get sprayed.
He's a big one too. He went somewhere right here.
It looks like an open doorway down there, don't it?
It does. That's a lightning.
A full moon.
On a full moon night. I mean, it's late at night too.
Where did the moon went behind the cloud?
Yeah, went behind the clouds. It'll pop back out. But... Oh boy.
The beginning of the Jimmy Red took a hit.
Yeah, it took a pretty hard lick right here.
It's got our fence, it's got our monitor.
Lean it back in the other direction. Maybe it'll...
Except when the wind catches it, it'll come this way. And it's headed toward the drying stage, so you're not worried about breaking roots or something.
No, I'm not worried about breaking roots or anything like that. If I can just...
Keep it slightly upright for a few more days.
Yeah. I'd rather lean in that way than this way, because this is my monitor that if anything comes in here, you know, it goes off, scares them away.
I don't see any tracks across here.
I don't see no tracks. Of course, we sure didn't get no peanuts through here hardly.
We've got a few. We might
There's a few, but not
replant.
Many. Not like I was hoping.
Not sure on that second row of beans if they're going to come up.
I don't know. We'll go around there and look, because I see corn laying across it on the other end down yonder.
Well, look at your sweet potatoes.
Oh, this has been perfect on the sweet potatoes. Now the crabgrass is starting to come up in there pretty good in some places.
They look amazing. They're blooming like crazy.
Yeah.
They're making sweet potatoes.
Well, they got enough rain now. I think they'll make. Here that we don't need. Now here's the one here. This one, pigweed, is the one who has stickers on it. It's different than the other kind. This one's got the red stem. This one have thorns all over it. Good morning, everybody. Danny Wanda back from Pecan Grove. We've had 2 days of some pretty heavy weather in the evenings, and we came up here this morning just to see how bad it's been. Yesterday we had to be gone most of the day, so I got here this morning. Looks like something has attacked the corn right here. I see one that's been ate.
Down there? Down
there. The wind has blown it over, and
this is a sweet corn.
This is one I was saving for seeds. Now,
are they far enough you can hang them?
This one's kind of turning brown. Let's see.
If we can take them off and hang them in the
Let's
shop.
look.
Still looks like a good corn.
Looks like a good. I mean, it still looks like it's good to eat. It's not showing any shriveling up or drying or anything. So we're not there yet.
So we're gonna eat corn.
This is my seed corn.
Can you put that like that on a stick and let it dry? Use it as your test pattern.
Huh?
Use it as a test pattern. Put it on your hanger and see what happens.
They're all still real green.
Just do that one.
I guess I'll have to try this one to see.
I mean that one's turning a little under there.
This one's gonna have ants in it. It's broke off already.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think I'm just gonna leave one in the shuck.
And leave one out.
And one out. And we'll see how it goes. Because I really was wanting to save some new seed this year, but I'm gonna tell you, we've had some pretty violent weather. We didn't get a ton of rain. One day we got 1.5 inches. I looked just in last night, we got 1 1/8 inches, which that's 2 3/8 of an inch. But it's better than nothing, because it has been bad dry. But now the Jimmy Red down here, I don't even know what it looks like yet.
From a distance, it still looks reasonable.
I've got to get these squashed.
And boy, look at that sunrise.
I don't imagine we're going to have a sunrise this morning.
It's beautiful. It's all pink and blue.
We've got a couple of squash here. We went from getting no squash to being able to harvest some this year, and the only thing I've done different is the fish emulsion. I poured it around it to keep the squash borers and vine borers and stuff out of it. And these, I have had no time to work with these here. These are the last ones we planted, the seeds we got from Wax Seed Company.
They all came up.
They came up, but it's my fault because I'm trying to work at another place and get it in order. And I haven't had time to come over here. Yesterday morning, I ran over here real quick and I poured Miracle Grow around them because they were pitiful looking.
And still very little that I'm seeing brace roots on this Jimmy Red.
What I don't understand is as many bees as we got here, honeybees, these are shriveling up because no pollination.
Yeah.
On the ends. They just rotting on the ends.
Yeah.
And there's bees all over them.
You can hear the bees around me.
I still hear them, yeah. Well, last night, something ate the side out of that one right there. It's full of fire ants. So.
And you got your skunk, so you thought thought that was it, but obviously not.
There must be something else coming in here. It hasn't done a lot of damage unless I get down here and I see where it has done a whole lot of damage or something. Because they'll usually come in one spot and fill up.
And these squash are looking rough too.
These were the zucchinis. They have bloomed themselves to death and only had a few zucchinis on them. There is a ear of corn right down there that come from somewhere.
So something's been in the field last night.
Yeah, it's been here last night. There's nothing really. The wind broke off a lot of the Jimmy Red.
The Jimmy Red just does not have very many brace roots. Now there's one or two alone, but for the most part, it's not doing like the Danny corn. It's not putting brace roots on.
No, it's not designed for a high wind load, I guess.
But
because it's done fully matured, and there's still no brace roots on it. I mean, there's a lot of corn on it. Don't get me wrong.
And it's really tall. I mean, you're tall. It did really good as far as that.
I mean, it grew 9 feet to 10 feet tall. You know?
It did good. It's got some beautiful ears on it. They're full and pretty.
Big, pretty ears, yeah.
So we're not worried about that. And it held, most of it held through close to 20-mile-per-hour winds, right?
Yes, we checked the wind gauge, and it said it was 17 miles an hour last night. So it did. I would like to look at one of the Jimmy Reds. Let's take this one that's laying across the wire here.
That's not your prettiest ear, but...
No, it's not a prettiest ear, but... well, let's see if I can do something here. Hang on.
This one, too.
That one's up off of it. This one down here is broke down. It's not going to...
It's not ever going to stand back up.
No. Let's take a look at the Jimmy Red. See where we at. I know it's got worm in it, I can tell you that already.
Oh, it's starting to turn.
It's starting to turn. So I mean, it's beyond the eating stage, I think. But
put it on your drying rack too, and see if we have to come out and get it at this stage from this point forward, broken stalks and stuff.
Yeah.
Will it start drying and continue, or will it
break over?
Or will it rot? That's what we need to know.
We need to know if it's going to rot or if it's still going to make. Because all we're looking for is corn meal out of it. That's what I'm wanting. Yeah. I mean, overall, it's just...
It held through 20-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah. It's done fairly well.
So we should have grits and cornmeal if nothing happens.
If we got 11 more days of
rain.
So some of this could be squirrels, because we do have squirrels out here that...
The okra is looking really pretty. This is some of the prettiest okra we've had in a long time.
When you cut a pod of okra, you want to cut the leaf off that the okra is on. Like this one here, let me show you. Like you got a pod of okra right here. When you cut that okra, you want to cut the leaf with it. And if there's a leaf that don't have an okra, you want to get that one off of there too, because it serves absolutely no purpose. Okra needs to be able to have airflow. If the sun can't get to those pods, they will get wet and shrivelly, and they'll rot on the end of the okra.
Like this right here. That one rotted.
See how this one? See how the ants are all up in that?
Yeah, it got wet yesterday.
Yep, let's get rid of that right there, because the ants are just going to ruin it.
You got a couple of corns.
A couple of them right here, not a whole lot.
Not as bad as we expected with the wind.
This is one of the issues you face here. Fire ants does that right there. They come and eat the end of the bloom and the okra, and it's just no good. They're really, really bad.
With this rain,
it's even worse with the rain. Now the rain does do some good. Like the aphids, the other day I was thinking I was going to have to come spray this to try to knock the aphids off, and it come that heavy rainstorm and blew, the rain knocked all the aphids off. Now this aphid is the type of aphid that's on here that if you knock them off, they don't crawl back up. They're not like the big green ones we had this spring.
It's a totally different creature.
Totally different creatures. Like we said, we're not worried about damaging roots on it now, because from this point forward, it's only going to be cornmeal.
It needs to dry, not grow.
It just needs to dry. Because of the intense heat, a lot of our Cherokee Tans are turning. They're not far off. I mean, you look down in there, they're all in there turning yellow. So,
I don't see that one, but it's in there.
Yeah, there's one there. I see
one
several of them down yonder.
I see a little one just starting.
Yeah.
There's one down yonder that's almost, it looks about ready.
Yeah, there's some of them that's real close. You know, we'll keep monitoring them. I'm just going to leave them there. I'm not in no big hurry. They're in way early this year. I mean, when I say early, I mean way early.
We're usually just planting them.
Usually they ain't even put no pumpkins on yet. You know, they don't put pumpkins on until September. And this year, probably won't even be none by September. But, you know, we were picking the okra. And something I've noticed this year I've never had happen with my okra before. You know, the white okra's always been like this. Long, skinny pods.
And we save seed.
Yeah, we save seed. Good okra.
No other pods close to it. We didn't have any okra.
What we're having this year, the points on them are not, see how it's like they got to a certain point. And I don't know if the bloom didn't come off of them or what happened, but these will be really hard when you go to cut them. Now, I always still take them because some of them are not, because we cut them up into frying okra, but I've never had that happen with any of my okra. I mean, you can see it. Now that's a little bit of fire ant damage right there, causing them to curl like that, but that's usually still soft. But most of them are always like this. Almost always. Nice.
So the atmosphere, could the atmosphere and the ground be causing this? Because we've got such craziness going on.
Definitely. More than likely, it's definitely environmental some way. I don't understand how yet. I do know that it was, it's been, heat indexes has been between 100 and 110, so for like 2 weeks now. So I don't know if that has played a part in it.
The intensity of the sun.
The sun's intense. It's like it's cooking it.
And that's what I'm wondering.
It is on the back side of the corn, so maybe that was a bad decision. Maybe the blooms are not drying up fast enough and they're just hanging on to the ends and not falling off like they're supposed to.
That's possible.
That could be my fault for putting it there, thinking that I wanted to get it in early and get it up, you know, keep it out of the sun as much as possible because the sun is so intense. And it could be that
it needs more sun.
It needs a little more sunlight than what it's getting because the blooms are sticking to it. Now, I haven't paid any attention to see if the okras that are pretty pods are on the outside of the plant and the ones that are not are on the inside next to the corn. Right now they're still so low to the ground that, I mean, I'm having to bend over to pick them, and I like for my okra to be up here, but I fixed it where it would branch out and make like a tree. And the first okras just may be no good for a while, you know, some of them. Till it gets up big enough that we get enough of the leaves cut off, the air can flow through it.
And you get the corn out of the way.
And we get some of the corn, you know, once we harvest the corn and stuff like that. Because the okra, if nothing messes with it, should go all summer. Well, just as we suspected, these rascals has got beans all over them. That's why I love these beans. First of all, they're easy to see. Secondly, they're just very prolific.
This is probably, what, the 6th or 7th time we've picked them?
Yeah, and if we'd have had the full 50 pots like we wanted.
I've done put up 25 quarts off these few beans here.
Yeah.
So that is not bad at all.
And if we'd have had the full 50 pots, you'd have done put up 50 quarts, which would have been would have been a quart a week. to eat. And a lot of people think, well, that's a lot, but when you start thinking about
what you gonna eat the rest of the week?
What you gonna eat the rest of the week? You know, I mean, it's one of them things that.
And they're still blooming.
Oh yeah, they're still blooming. It takes like to eat these on a regular basis enough to say you have enough to be sustainable. You know, you'd have to have 100+ quarts of them to eat in order to be able to have enough to.
Because you need to be able to eat green beans at least twice as a side during the week, 3 times if that's the main bean. And it is our main bean.
This,
and a quart,
this is our main one.
Our quart goes 2 meals for us. So
yeah.
So we're 25 quarts is actually 50 meals.
It's 50 meals, but not 50 weeks.
No, but it's 50 meals.
Yeah, you stop and think what you gonna eat the rest of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have something else to eat, and these things.
Look at them. They're beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
There's another one, and there's 1, 2 right here.
Problem with this rain has made them very brickly. So you have to be very careful. You gotta take your thumb and kind of pinch them off, because the whole limb will just break off with you.
There's another one way under here. You just can't see them, but they're in here.
They're there. You just have to lift the
One
plant.
right under your hand. Another one behind it. When you move it just a little, we ain't went nowhere.
I mean, look
and
at
you've
that.
done caught between this and the others you picked right here. That's a mess of beans right there. And that was off this pot and starting on this one.
Yeah, so I mean I think, you know, I mean, that's why we plant this variety. Now these are not just yellow wax beans. These are the Cherokee yellow wax beans. There is a tremendous difference. We've planted yellow wax beans before, and they don't do good. And we don't do the pole ones because of the kudzu bugs down here.
And we did save these seeds from our beans the last 3 or 4 years, 5 since we found these.
Yeah.
We've always saved our seed and we replant our seed. This is from replanting our seed.
Yeah, these are not store-bought.
Seed company seeds. Originally, yes.
Yeah, originally they were, but you know, and don't ask me what company they were from, because I really don't remember. It's been so many years since we've actually bought seeds. I don't remember.
I don't remember which company we got them from.
I don't remember which company we got them from either. It's now, when we get a bean like this one right here, that bean to me has really, it's gone too far, because it's taken on a whitish look and it's got the seeds in it. I don't particularly care for them with the seeds in them. I will eat them, but I don't want the majority of them being that way. See, like that one was already broke off. It was just laying in there, and the rain has kept it from wilting down overnight. I mean, you can look, see how dead. It's just been dead there. It was the wind, I guess, last night must have whipped around on it. And
we might find a bunch of them like that for us over.
well, we finished picking the Cherokee yellow wax beans here this morning. Wanda had already picked yesterday.
This row
right here, and she got like, what was it, half a gallon or so off of it. And this morning, now there's a few things in the bottom of this, a little bit of okra and some corn. We got about a gallon right there. She'll snap it or cut it up, put it in a freezer bag, and save it till we get enough to do a canner, you know, because that's what we do. We don't just go eat them up because there's not enough, you know. We go ahead and just put them in the freezer and wait, and then we can them. That's what we like to do. So,
and I'll take about a dozen of them out that are pretty and long and saute them down or put them in the oven or on the grill or something.
Yeah, and we still getting sweet potato slips. We don't need them. I mean, we got so many till it's pathetic at this point. But
we're running out of sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and I actually have where we took the sweet corn up out there. I could go up there and till it and stick them in the ground, you know. But we got 1,000 out now. I don't need any more. So I'm thinking about waiting and saving that area for when we get past this stink bug cycle. to plant some field peas, you know, maybe like pink-eyed purple hull or something like that. Have a little something to eat on. But we may have to replant the butter beans because they ain't coming up. But
it rains when we get them in. It rains and it
floods.
buries
It don't
them.
rain. It floods. Well, I say it's only like an inch and something, but it comes in about a 15-20 minute period, you know, and it just washes everything down.
Because it's sand.
It's just, the sandy soil does that, you know. And if you plant it up on a mound, then
it exposes the bean.
It exposes the bean. So you try to plant it level, and it just packs it so hard. It's a gamble, whichever way. You never know what the weather's going to do. And before we get off, Miss Vicky has asked about her white Pakistan mulberry she sent us, and then it's right over here. And I want to walk over and show where we at with that thing. This is the white Pakistani mulberry. Now this one done exactly what this one right here did. This one here, maybe it's my fault, but all the sprouts on that one started coming. This one did the same thing. They started coming out right here, and this was just a stick sticking up. Well, I should have pruned them off at the beginning, I guess, because all of a sudden when they took off, the middle stick died. Well, this one, when they came out, there was nothing else on it. I said, well, I don't want it to die. I said, but I got to try. So I broke them all off down here around the edges of that. And within probably a week, they started popping out up here. And now, hopefully, I've got this one coming out at the top where it will actually make. Because that one, I don't know what it's going to be now, because it came out below. Yeah, they came out below the graft. So, and it could still be in part of the graft. I just wasn't 100% sure.
Okay, this is my ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, that's the ginkgo biloba.
And then these are our loquats. All of them came back after that hard freeze.
This one is struggling.
Yeah, it was the one that got froze the hardest.
Yeah, this one is struggling. It's got some places in it that have died. I got to prune them off, like this limb here. You know, this whole limb right here. I got to prune it out.
We've got, what, 5 of those.
Yeah.
This is another mulberry here.
These are the mulberries from deep south that I air grafted. They are doing really, really well.
The air grafting worked.
Yes, and they had mulberries on them this year.
Yeah.
First year mulberries, yeah.
There, look. Told you I saw mulberries.
Look at that. Here it is, June, what, 11th?
Yeah, it shouldn't have mulberries on it.
Yeah, they should done been
You
gone.
can see here where some didn't do, but that one is on there.
Now, this one is beginning to sprout out at the ground again, and the leaves look totally different than them up there. What I'm looking at, these leaves look just like the white Pakistanis over yonder. These look like a wild stock right here.
I'll take all them off.
So I think what I'm going to do is just what Ms. Wanda said. I think I'm going to get down there.
Leave the big ones and take those little leaves out.
Yeah, I'm going to take this wild stock off down here at the bottom. Get all that out of there. And I know I don't cut the grass out from around them, because I've learned in the deep south that if you, I call them piss bugs, because you get under a tree, it's like they're always peeing on you.
They're eating something's eating the leaves.
But I've learned that if I leave the grass in an area around it, that, oh, there's a guinea wasp. Oh, there may have been a wasp nest in there. I wasn't even looking.
That's the problem with the grass around
That's the problem. And I'll tell you what now, the old man who owned the property here before me, when I used to sit and talk to him, back when I was looking at land in all this area 30 years ago, I was doing land then. We were talking about how I was walking in the woods doing landlines and stuff, and I'd tell him about running into wasp nests, you know, right at the ground with my feet dragging. I'd get into wasp nests, and he told me, he said, when you see them wasps nesting like down here around this at the ground, he said, you're going to have a really, really cold winter coming up. And to be honest with you, I don't remember if that was the case or not. I just remember the conversation, you know.
We'll see this winter.
We have been inundated this year with wasp nests. They are literally, I'm talking about here at Pecan Grove and at Deep South, they are everywhere. And I don't mean little nests, I mean big old nests. It's like they're on steroids this year. And they're low to the ground. They're not high up in stuff, they're pretty low. I don't know if we got some cold stuff coming or not. So, but anyway, I wanted y'all to know, you know, Miss Vicky wanted to see her trees that she had sent us here. I really believe, I'm sitting here looking at this, I really believe, looking at that leaf and looking at them other leaves here, this might still be a white Pakistani and not the little
both of them the ones she sent?
Yeah, both of them are the ones she sent. So
that one maybe came out above the graft?
It's right at where the tree is grafted at. So it could still be in the graft part, it could be the rootstock. We won't know till it puts on mulberries, because you can see our mulberry leaf is totally different than that one. Ours are the big round oval ones that gets like this long and big. These are all forked up like almost looks like a sassafras leaf. So, and that's mainly once they get older. When they're younger, they're just round. So we'll see how it goes and see if they make mulberries, and if they do, what kind they are. You know, I mean, we'll keep y'all along and show you on. Now, some people want to know about our sugar cane. Let's before we get out of here, let's let them look at the sugar cane and see where we at with that. You know, the wind last night blew the wax myrtle down. I hate to cut these things down because the wax myrtle is what you use to get rid of fleas around your place. A lot of people were always asking us, y'all have fleas and ticks and all that kind of stuff? No, because wax myrtles are a natural deterrent for that. And I don't want that growing up in my sugar cane.
What is that, a beautyberry?
Nope, poke salad.
Poke salad, yeah, okay.
Now we got a beautyberry right here, along with some other kind of weed. I don't know what that thing is, but we got a beautyberry right here. Them things, I know a lot of people use them, make jelly out of. We got them by the millions, and I don't want them things. And then we got the
trumpet flowers,
cypress vines. Hummingbirds literally love them.
To see the prettiness, but they'll strangle your crops to death.
Yeah, they will strangle. Ever see what they're doing right here? They are.
It's done wrap that whole cane up.
Done wrap that cane. I got it broke off at the ground down here now. We're gonna pull it up and get it out of there. You know.
Now this little clump didn't do as well.
Well, the freeze and the snow this year pretty much almost killed all of our sugar canes.
But now some of them came back pretty good.
This one is kind of sparse, but it's coming back. You know, it's doing kind of fairly okay. Then we got these down here are very sparse. This one here is. I got some persimmons coming up in that. I got to get them cut out of there. This is Miss Vicky's that she sent. Right here, the purple striped cane, I believe it was, that she sent here. I liked it messed up the other day. A pine tree right here, the bugs had got into it. And there's a big old pine tree standing up here, and there's a pecan standing right there by it. And I said, you know, I'd rather have a pecan than I had a pine tree anyway. And the bugs was getting in it pretty bad, so I cut it and throwed it right out in here. And man, the limbs fell in the middle of this one, they fell in that one, and fell in the edge of this one. But luckily, God was good. I didn't really lose anything out of it. This one was the purple chewing cane. Now it took a pretty hard hit because it don't like the cold weather at all. And you can see it didn't come up very thick. But now this one over here, this is what we've been making syrup out of. I don't know the brand or anything like that. All I can tell you,
it's a hardier cane,
is I was at an old man's house years and years and years ago, and he had a wagon wheel of this stuff growing out there. And I asked him what he's going to do with it, and he said, I'm just going to cut it down. He said, it grows up there every year. He said, I don't do nothing with it. And I asked him, could I buy it? He told me, he said, nope, I'll give it to you, but you ain't going to buy it. So I hated to cut his whole wagon wheel down, but he told me cut it all down, and I cut it down, brought it home, planted it. This has made the best syrup that we've ever made. I've had it about 20 years. I asked him, I said, do you know what variety it is? And he told me, he said, nope, all I can tell you is it come from an old man's place many years before I got it, you know. And I told him, I said, well, okay. Because I kind of like to know what varieties I have of stuff, but I didn't know. And this is another one of them right here. That's one of them. Everything this away is that same sugar cane. This one's doing pretty good. It's got one of them, I don't know what kind of weeds these things are, but these weeds are coming up everywhere this year. And we've never had these before, but this year we have them everywhere. Well, while we were shooting the video, I told Ms. Wanda, I said, these things are everywhere. I said, stop right quick. She has this app, she can pull this stuff up while we're videoing. And according to what the app showed, in the picture we took, it identified it as American burnweed. It says it has an unpleasant odor, which it does. And it says it doesn't have the milky sap like wild lettuce does. Because I told him if it was wild lettuce, he was in trouble. I was in trouble if it was wild lettuce. But and it says it, you know, it's edible.
Pioneers used it.
Pioneers used it, things like that.
And it comes up over burned out property or cleared property,
burned property, stuff like that. It comes up prolific. The seeds are spread through the wind, and that would explain it because we're clearing a lot of land around here, and it's popping up everywhere that we're clearing. So
it could be in the ground and just getting a foothold like some of the other seeds we're finding.
Could have already been in the soil, yeah. So that's what it is. It's American burnweed. Now we are noticing our pecans this year. We have a lot of pecans on the trees. They really did good. If we don't get too much rain to get a mold or something going on them, but they pollinated well. I've seen lots of little pecans up in the trees, and we got the whole pecan orchard through yonder, nothing but pecan trees. And we have them in the front yard. We got the big pecan orchard up yonder. So, and they're in the woods everywhere. So, that's why it's called Pecan Grove. So guys, we got to get busy this morning. We got to be somewhere in just a little while. So I hope y'all have enjoyed just a walk around the place, seeing what we got going on, and maybe you've learned something today. So I know we certainly have. I know what that is now. That's American burnweed. So will I remember that? That's the $64,000 question. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.